Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Well, new tonight, Waterbury police share never-before-seen images of the inside of the home where police say a 32-year-old man was held captive for 2 decades by his stepmom. Thanks for joining us for the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Bridgeport. The images were captured after the man was rescued from a house fire that police say he started to escape. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson gives us a glimpse of what the inside of that home looked like.
It was back on February 17th when police say a man set fire to this home behind me. They say he told first responders that his stepmother kept him captive inside the home for over 20 years. Now police have released images of inside what they're calling a house of horrors. The chilling photos were taken after the fire on February 17th. Because of this, many of the photos show charred walls, door frames, and furniture. A picture of the downstairs hallway shows dirty floors with severe debris on them. Many other images show cluttered living spaces with items scattered across floors and surfaces. Police did not specify if any of the photos released were of the man's 9x8 room where they say he was held captive in. However, police did release an image of the exterior lock on the outside of the room, which they say Sullivan used to keep the man locked inside. The man's identity has not been released yet. The GoFundMe that was set up in support of the man has now reached over $200,000. Organizers say that money will go towards medical and dental care, counseling and therapy, and any other needs he may need as he re-enters society. For the stepmom, Kimberly Sullivan, she pled not guilty to all of her charges, and her next court date is set for April 22nd. In Waterbury, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
And the attorney for Kimberly Sullivan released this statement in response to police releasing the photos. Ioannis Kaloidis says, quote, the release of sensitive evidence by the Waterbury Police Department in a pending and active investigation is shocking, offensive, and quite frankly, ethically questionable. It only serves to solidify public opinion against Ms. Sullivan. Justice requires the protection of constitutional rights and ultimately a fair trial. We call for an immediate investigation into the release of these photos and videos. We intend to fight these outrageous allegations every step of the way.
And be sure to stream all of our coverage on the captivity case in Waterbury. Just download Fox 61 Plus on your TV and watch for free. Let's turn things over to the weather now. Good news, the rain is done, but Connecticut is in store for something else.
And Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here with the first check of the forecast here at 6. So Rachel, what do we have coming?
Overall, we are in for cooler temperatures tonight. Overnight lows dipping back into the 20s for some towns, so a cooler start to the new month. And we could see a couple showers later tomorrow night, maybe even some sleet pellets, although we don't expect any impact from that. Luckily, temperatures will be above freezing. We're near 50 degrees in Hartford and New Haven. Here's a look at temperatures right now across the other parts of the state, including mid-40s in Waterbury. And satellite and radar showing more clouds eventually heading this way for tomorrow, and a couple of showers as well to go along with it. But overnight lows, again, we're talking about a cooler start to the day tomorrow. 20s to right around 30 degrees to begin your Wednesday. And as we head through the afternoon, we'll see temperatures rise into the upper 40s to right around 50 degrees, which is close to average, if not a little cooler than average for this time of year. After a brighter start, we'll see increasing clouds. And then again, notice we do have that chance for a shower as we head towards or after dark. And there's just enough cool air in the upper levels that you might hear a couple tink, tink, tink sound of sleep pellets on top of the roof. We're going to talk more about that, plus the warmer air that follows, and many chances for spring showers in the forecast coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. One person is dead after a shooting involving Bridgeport police. Police say they responded to a big group fight on East Main Street Monday night.
And they tried to conduct a motor vehicle stop, but say the suspect ran out of the vehicle. And that's where we find Fox 61's Kayla Cade tonight.
I spoke with the person's niece, and she says they are doing everything they can to get justice.
He was nobody's thug, and they're trying to portray that he was a thug. He wasn't. He changed his life. He was a truck driver. They're not going to get away with this.
Tatiana Barrett is heartbroken.
He was a great father, a great uncle, a great brother, a great son. His father is 70 plus years. This is not okay. This is not okay.
She says she can't wrap her head around how her uncle, Dyshawn Bess, didn't make it home Monday evening.
We know 100% he would never try to hurt nobody. Even if he was running from a cop, he would never try to hurt her. For her to shoot him in his back 3 times, this is not okay.
She says he was in Bridgeport for a funeral.
Oh, he literally was a pallbearer for his childhood friend's funeral, who died of natural causes, by the way. He wasn't here for no trouble, and they killed him, and they murdered him, and they know it.
She says a fight broke out, which led Bridgeport police to come to East Main Street.
They stopped, and everybody fled when they stopped because they had their guns out already. They had their guns out already. Nobody's sticking around for that.
Police say they were told the people who were involved in the fight were armed. A short time later, police say they tried to stop one of the suspects' vehicles.
He was an innocent bystander. He wasn't even involved in a fight. Any of this. It was not a traffic stop.
Police say at least one officer chased the suspect to a driveway on Kossuth Street. They say that's where the shooting happened.
She don't need to be on duty. She don't need to have no one's gun. You shot him because you were scared, not because he was a threat. He was nobody's threat.
Officers say they found a firearm in the driveway. Barrett says it doesn't belong to her uncle.
He never had a gun on him.
He was taken to the hospital and had surgery, but later died. Barrett says she will not stay silent about the situation and will advocate for her uncle.
We're not gonna let this go. We're not gonna let this go. This is nobody's John Doe. This is somebody with a name.
The Office of the Inspector General is now investigating, and the officer or the officers involved are now on modified duty until the investigation is complete. We will keep you updated as we learn more. In Bridgeport, Kayla Cade, Fox 61.
Kayla, thank you. Right now, Fox 61's Kay Pattyfoot is live in Bridgeport, where people are protesting against the police department as a result of the shooting. Kay, what are the demonstrators telling you?
Protesters are literally in the street demanding for Police Chief Roger Porter to come out and talk to them. Now, some of their demands is they want a private, independent investigation to be done, that officer to be put on leave, all video to be given to family, and they want the officer's name and their history. Now, I'm going to step out the frame just to show you all what I mean when I say the protesters are literally in the street. I mean, the traffic has diverted because they cannot get through. Last night, there was an officer-involved shooting in the area of Kossuth and Beecher Street in Bridgeport. We have more information from that incident. Monday night around 5:50, Bridgeport police officers responded to the 1600 block of East Main Street after a reported street fight where suspects had guns. Officers responded to the area, saw a suspect vehicle near Kossuth and Beecher Street where they attempted a motor vehicle stop. One of the passengers in the car got out and led the officer on a chase. That chase ended around the 1400 block of Kossuth Street where the officer-involved shooting happened. A firearm was recovered at the scene, and the victim, who has been identified as Dyshawn Bess, was taken to the Bridgeport hospital where he died. His older brother, Leonard Bess, is heartbroken. He, along with his family, want justice. He said his brother did a lot for the community and for his kids.
This officer needs to be held accountable. You held me accountable at 18 for shooting a police officer. You need to hold this officer accountable that knows better, that takes training. Just to shoot a man 3 times in his back, that is unacceptable.
This case is being handled by the Inspector General's office and the state police. The officer has been placed on modified duty under the police chief's office. We'll have more at 10 and 11 for now in Bridgeport. Kay Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
All right, Kay, thank you very much. New tonight, New Haven leaders have renewed their crackdown on dangerous activity on state roads. Street takeovers like the one you see right here have hit communities hard in recent years. Police officers and elected officials put their weight behind Senate Bills 1284 and 1389. Both would increase penalties against offenders and give law enforcement permission to impound vehicles used in those takeovers. And as First Selectman Michael Frieda emphasized, officers would be empowered to take dirt bikes and ATVs off the streets for good.
If you come into our cities and towns and you try to take over our streets with these ATVs, they not only will be confiscated, but they will be crushed. And that is our mission, to destroy them, to crush them. And that crushing of these vehicles hopefully sends a powerful message.
There is a joint task force right now based out of New Haven to combat illegal street takeovers and other dangerous driving habits. Public hearings have been held on both of these bills. They have bipartisan support. Officials at today's press conference say they're likely to be passed during this coming legislative session. Connecticut is once again suing the federal government over funding cuts. This time, the state is taking legal action against the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services for halting $11 billion in public health grants. 22 other states plus the District of Columbia joined the lawsuit. The coalition of states filing this lawsuit claims these cuts are illegal and could even carry deadly consequences. Earlier today, Attorney General Tung announced Connecticut would join the 23 other states in pushing back against these funding cuts. He said the move has already caused chaos for state health agencies who depend on these funds as they prepare for public health emergencies and manage infectious diseases. If these grants are paused as planned, Attorney General Tung says Connecticut will lose about $175 million. That's toward virus testing, mental health services, and addiction support, among other much-needed programs.
Not a day goes by where there isn't an attack on Connecticut families, on Connecticut children. DPH will not be able to know when a new syndrome or new disease like bird flu is showing up in our emergency rooms. They won't be able to respond as quickly and as thoroughly to an outbreak.
Public health officials also fear losing this money will reverse the state's progress in curbing the opioid crisis and could even extend the wait times in hospitals.